Thinking about starting a YouTube channel for your art, but feeling overwhelmed? I get it. You're probably picturing endless hours of filming, editing nightmares, and the terrifying thought of putting yourself out there. But what if I told you it's not as complicated as you think? I've been exactly where you are, staring at my camera, wondering if I was about to make a fool of myself. But most of what you're worrying about is probably not what you should be focusing on at all. In this video, I'm going to take you through the real process of starting a YouTube channel as an artist. No fluff, just the practical tips I've picked up along the way, the things I had to figure out myself. When you're starting out on YouTube, you'll often hear people say you need to find your niche. And while there's some truth to that, it can feel limiting, especially for multi-passionate artists. Instead of seeing your interest as separate, why not see yourself as the niche? Think of your channel like an umbrella, with each of your passions as subcategories fitting underneath. For example, if you're an artist who loves exploring the connection between creativity and mindfulness, your umbrella topic could be art and mindfulness. Under that, you might create videos like how meditation helps me overcome artist block, or my process for creating intuitive paintings. This way, you're not forced to choose between doing art tutorials or talking about mindfulness. You're weaving them together in a way that feels authentic to you. When setting up your channel, think about how to showcase your different interests without confusing your audience. If you're into multiple things that inspire your art, there's a way to weave them together. Start with your channel name. Choose something that covers your main focus, but is broad enough to include your other interests. For example, art-inspired living could work if you want to share your art process along things like mindfulness or nature walks that influence your work. Your profile picture and banner should give a clear visual of what your channel's about. If you're an artist who's also into meditation, your banner could show your painting in a serene setting. In your About section, be upfront about what viewers can expect. You might say something like, on this channel, I share my art journey and the inspiration behind my work. The key is to show how your interests connect to your art. This way, your audience understands the full picture of who you are as an artist, and they know exactly what kind of content to expect from your channel. The more connected your audience feels to you, the more likely they are to support your art and share your content. YouTube loves consistency, but you don't need to burn yourself out trying to post every day. What really matters is finding a rhythm that works for you and sticking to it, whether that's once a week or even once a month. The key is to be reliable. Think of your viewers like friends. They want to know when they can expect to hear from you. And the algorithm is like a pattern spotting machine. It notices when you're consistent and rewards that. You don't have to crank out videos all the time, especially if you're creating evergreen content. The beautiful thing about YouTube is that you can create a routine that works for you. If you can only manage one quality video a month, that's okay. In fact, if you're posting once a month, try making longer videos. It will help you get the watch hours, especially if you want to get monetized. The key is quality and being intentional with your content. It's better to make one solid video than to rush out several videos and then disappear for months because you're wiped out. Think of your channel like a marathon, not a sprint. Find your rhythm and stick with it. Let the algorithm work for you. You don't need to jump on every trend. Just keep showing up, be yourself, and share your art. That's how you build a channel that lasts. Creating a YouTube channel isn't just about uploading videos. It's also about building a community around your art. As you plan your content, think about ways to encourage interaction. You might end your videos with a question for your audience to answer in the comments, or create content that responds to viewers' questions. This engagement not only helps your channel grow, but it can also provide inspiration for future videos. Now let's talk about titles and thumbnails. You can make an amazing video, but if your title and thumbnail don't grab attention, no one will click to see how great it is. You don't have to obsess over this in the beginning, but do spend some time looking at different titles and thumbnails for inspiration. I even look at Netflix cover promos to see how they use the rule of thirds. It took me a while to figure this out, and I'm still working on improving, But when it comes to YouTube titles, aim for 50 to 60 characters. I find that titles within this range are more likely to grab attention and perform better for SEO. Also, make sure the title makes sense for your video and include relevant keywords. For example, you can create a video about 3 mindful ways to beat creative block for artists, or you can do a vlog about how meditation helps me create better art. These titles give a clear idea of what the video is about, and it also includes relevant keywords. Your content will evolve over time, but the most important thing is to just start creating and be yourself. The more you create, the more you'll find your voice, refine your style, and discover what truly resonates with your audience. While we're on the topic of getting your video seen, let's talk about SEO. It's not just for websites, it's important for YouTube too. Use relevant tags for your videos, write detailed descriptions that include your main keywords, and consider adding closed captions. These elements help YouTube understand what your video is about, making it more likely to show up in search results and recommendations. It might take some extra time, but trust me, it's worth getting your art and your content in front of more eyes. Now, I know this can all feel a little overwhelming at first. Titles, thumbnails, SEO, it's a lot to think about. That's why I've created a YouTube starter guide specifically for artists and creatives. It goes deeper into everything we're talking about today. Plus, it offers some extra tips to help you along the way. If you're interested, just comment guide below or check out the link in the description. When I created my YouTube channel, all I had was my phone, a selfie stick, and natural lighting. You don't need to have fancy equipment when starting out. A simple tripod and some basic lighting are enough to get you going. However, I do recommend investing in good audio early on. You can start with a microphone clip before upgrading to a podcast mic. When I was making videos showing my art process, I got creative with my setup. I used 2 phones, my current iPhone for A-roll, which is the main footage, and an old iPhone 7 for B-roll and cutaway shot. Think of A-roll as your main dish, while B-roll and cutaways are the side dishes and quick bites that add flavor and context to your video. To keep things interesting, mix up your shots. If you're showing your art process, get some wide shots and get some close-ups. I use selfie sticks and small stands to capture different angles, and I kept my clips short so that my videos could be more dynamic. If you're talking to the camera, find that sweet spot where your head isn't cut off, but you're not swimming in empty space either. Lastly, make sure to set your phone camera to 4K at 30 frames per second and export your videos in 4K at 30 frames per second for better quality. I learned this later on, and trust me, it makes a real difference. This simple setup allowed me to create dynamic videos without breaking the bank. So when starting, don't think that you have to have the most expensive equipment. Be creative with what you already have to tell your story as an artist. When you're just starting out, keep it simple. That's exactly what I did. Basic cuts and transitions work just fine. As you get more comfortable with the process, you can start experimenting with more advanced techniques. One thing that really made a difference for me was learning how to color correct and color grade. Color correction is about fixing the colors to make your footage look natural, while color grading gives your video a specific mood or style. By learning color correction, you can take your video from this to this. It might sound technical, but trust me, it's worth the effort. These skills can really elevate the look and feel of your videos, making them look more professional. When you're putting your video together, think about the overall vibe you want to create. When it comes to music, make sure you're not using copyright music. When I started, I used YouTube's music library, but now I use Epidemic Sound. Also, make sure to keep the music volume low, especially when you're talking. You want the music to complement your video, not overpower your voice. The goal is to enhance your content, not distract from it. Making your videos look good is something you'll get better at over time, so don't stress if they're not perfect right away. Your editing style will develop as you go. I go more into detail on these techniques in my YouTube starter guide, so if you're interested in learning the specifics of color grading and other editing tips, be sure to comment guide or check out the link in the description. While you can't earn ad revenue right away, it's smart to set up your channel for future income and marketing in mind. YouTube isn't just a platform to showcase your art, it's also a powerful tool to market your work and eventually monetize your content. From day one, follow YouTube's guidelines to make joining the partner program easier when you're eligible. Start by marketing your art. Use your channel's About section and video descriptions to include links to your website or online store. This allows you to promote and sell your art immediately. In your videos, tell the stories behind your pieces because it makes them more appealing to potential buyers. Create content that highlights your services too. For example, film a time-lapse of a commission piece explaining your process, or give a sneak peek of what students learn in your workshops. These videos not only demonstrate your skills, but it also builds trust with potential clients and potential buyers. As your channel grows, explore other monetization opportunities. Consider setting up a Patreon account and linking it to your description. This will give viewers a way to support you before you're even monetized on YouTube. You can also start thinking about sponsored content that aligns with you and your art. Building an audience on YouTube takes time, but it's a great way to increase your visibility as an artist. By sharing your creative process and the stories behind your art, you're not just attracting potential clients, but you're also planting seeds for future opportunities. Even if sales don't happen immediately, you're building a platform that can lead to commissions, collaborations, and other exciting possibilities down the line. Starting a YouTube channel as an artist might seem intimidating, but it's an exciting journey of growth and connection. Every successful YouTuber started exactly where you are, with 0 subscribers and their first video. The only difference is they took that first step. You can check out my YouTube starter guide for creating a sustainable channel. I also have guides on SEO for artists and ways to turn your art and passion into income. You can find the links to these in the description below. And if you want to know more about why every artist should start a YouTube channel, then make sure to check out my next video. I'll see you there.